So it's kind of bringing to me there's some kind of resistance or barrier. I've been saying to people there's something I'm not seeing and I don't know what it is. So maybe there's something deeper going on in there that I haven't discovered yet, and that's why I'm so unsettled.
Well, one thing to say to you, Maggie, is that you're always going to put barriers, no matter. Oh, I said this, no matter
Mm.
how enlightened you get. There's always
Mm-hmm.
more, and if there's more, there's an edge. And if there's an edge, there's going to be barrier and all the usual stuff that you meet in the shape of you. So when I say the shape of you, it's like the Enneagram is a good example because it gives
Mm.
9 numbers, which give a general map or shape of how each of the different types meet their edge. That's how I see the Enneagram. Whether it's withdrawal or anger and control or whatever it is, when you get to an edge, you're generally going to meet it with that recipe. So that's why people, when they sort of
Mm.
go, "Oh, I thought I dealt with this stuff," it's coming up again. It's like, well, you have dealt with it in that context, but you've grown like a tree. You know, you have the. I always use the analogy of the rings of the tree show the light bits of the summer where it grows, and the dark bits of the winter where it stops growing and contracts. There's darker bits. So, but if you look at it, it's basically the same shape, whether the tree is 100 years old or 10 years old. It's the same shape, but so you expand, and then you go into your winter and you meet your edge. Everything gets a bit darker, and then you go through it and you expand again. So, in that way, you're going to meet things in the same way. So, you're always going to be putting some kind of barrier. It's good to know the flavor of it because you get the way you relate to that, which is more the non-personal perspective, how you relate to how you put down the barriers can change, so that going from judgment of it, which puts extra spanners in the work, to acceptance of it and softness with it, and just allowing an openness with it and going, oh yeah, here's my barbed wire fence. Rather than, oh,
Mm.
I've done something wrong, I have to fix my past, I have to just puts extra layers of challenge rather than going, oh, here's my thing, and I've been through it before, and I basically know what it is, and yes, I'm going to have to face whatever the edge is and move through it. But that sort of soft relationship with your edges, I've noticed, tends to help you move through them quicker rather than judging them or making it like there's something you haven't fixed yet or there's something you haven't got yet. Does that make sense?
Um, yeah, sort of. Not quite sure. I was going to say how you do that. I see what you're saying. Don't judge, rather than judge or fix. Just, I don't know. Sit with it.
So I
Like,
guess one of the analogies that I've used a lot, which really helped me when I first sort of came across it, and I use it generally for the mind. I say think of the mind as a puppy, because the ego is the same. Think of the ego as a puppy. So if you think of a puppy, then you can't help but have your heart burst open. And yes, God, they can be annoying. They pee on the floor, they chew the furniture, that they can be a nightmare. But you roll them over, tickle them on the tummy. Yes, you need to be firm with them at times and train them, but it's very hard to get really harsh with a puppy. So if you can see these blocks, the sort of ego stuff, if you want to call it that, or that when the mind kicks in as a puppy, then it helps you to shift how you perceive it. And again, the intention of that metaphor or that analogy is to help to soften the relationship with what is a very natural part of you as a human being, which is to have an edge, have an ego, have a personality, have a mind which is there to be fearful and protect you, all of those things. But in the softening of it, you still, again, the puppy, you got to train it, you
mm,
need to teach, but the way that you do it with a puppy is usually a lot softer than you do it if you're telling yourself it's a monster or a wolf, or I don't know, whatever the thing is that you make it, some deep demonic shadow. It's always a puppy. It just wants to be loved. and have its tummy tickle, sort of roll over, and give it some food and some cuddles, and it learns to behave itself. Does that help?
Yeah, I guess I just keep getting back into, wanting to figure it out, like, what is the fence about and what's my next step, and, so that's the mind stuff getting in instead of just being, I guess,
Yeah.
like you say.
So that's a great example. So the mind stuff is right there. She goes, oh, mind stuff, bless you. Of course, you want to know the next step. You want to figure it out. You want to plan. You want a tick list. I get it. It's okay. We haven't got one. It's okay. I get that you want it. We're just going to sit in peace and wait for the animation to come. Yeah. I know you're a little puppy. You want to pull on the thing, but right now it's not pull on the thing time. I want to sit by the fire and watch TV. So you come sit next to me. I'll give you a cuddle. No, you don't pull the thing now. No, come up here, sit down. Down. There. I love you. It's okay. Yeah? So it's so that's your wanting to get what's next is the little puppy wants to tug on the toy or the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's causing you stress, it's not really aligned. If it's causing you that kind of unnecessary suffering, then it's not time. And there are times when yes, it's time to play with the toy. It's time to make a list, and that's animation. That's the knowing the truth of what's here. But if it's like nagging at you in a way that pisses you off, it's probably just the puppy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that helps.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.